mind-body relationship. My name is Emerald Hill. I am the executive director of the Portside Art Relational Therapy Institute, and joining me today is Dr. Laurie Hill, who is the clinical director of the Counseling House.
Yeah. Well, hello there, Emerald. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Surviving.
Surviving is good. Yeah. Yes. Well, today we thought we'd have a conversation about posture.
Posture.
Yeah.
Put those shoulders back.
That's right. Exactly. You know, it's interesting how it is that we let people know how it is that we're feeling without actually really saying how it is that we're feeling. And some of us are really good at actually hiding feelings, but the truth of the matter is our body speaks for us.
For sure. Definitely a type of body language.
Definitely, yes. And you know, when I think about people who slump, right, who actually really, sort of stand on one leg, that sort of thing. I mean, when you think about it, what happens with slumping is, what do you think that actually really says?
I feel down.
Yeah, feeling down, sad, depressed, maybe weighted.
Yeah.
Heavy. Right? And when you think about people who, slump in their chair, that sort of thing, what do you think?
Uninterested,
that's right. Not engaged.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And, people who kind of like stand on one leg, or have you ever watched Donald Trump at a news experience and he starts to sway his body? Have you ever seen him do that?
I have, and actually that you bring that up, when I was watching American Idol and Khloe Kardashian was the interviewer or the host for it, she would completely rock her body the entire time. It was so annoying to watch. It's like, so do you want to be somewhere else?
Interesting, right? Because fidgeting gives the idea that the person is also not engaged, right? Wanting to move, run, get away. And swaying of the body is actually really a self-soothing.
Yeah.
Right? I'm uncomfortable, and so I'm going to soothe myself.
Right.
Standing on one leg, the truth is that you're off-center. Right? You're only being supported by one leg. And a lot of people do that, right? They actually put one foot on top of the other foot as it is that they're standing, or that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about posture, the truth of the matter is that we speak volumes to others without even knowing that we're doing it. Right? And so the goal is that when you pay attention to your body, that you're actually really connecting your mind and your body together in order to be able to present what you're wanting to present, which is actually really structure. It is security. It is power, right? I'm into my own power. Right? I am powerful. Not that I am overpowering others.
Right.
It's just that I am secure within myself. And that sense of security within the self, when you're projecting it to others, actually makes other people feel more secure.
For sure. There's definitely substance in that with stand-up. You notice that a lot of stand-up comedians, when they feel insecure, they'll be right up against the wall at the back of the stage.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're right. Kind of like, you can't really see me.
Yeah.
Making myself smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a really good point. And the truth of the matter is that when you step forward, you're stepping into the conversation, right?
Yeah.
You're making yourself known. You're making yourself present, right? And so when you think about it, when you're confined or constricted, you're actually holding yourself in, right? Yes, and so you're trying to make yourself as small as possible, like you're in a dirty bathroom, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch anything, right? But when it is that you're actually really, into your own space, right? Taking up your own space, expanding yourself, right? So that's when it is that you're actually really taking control.
Now there's a point. There's been a lot on the topic of manspreading.
Interesting.
Which is when you're on like the subway or you're just sitting beside your male friend and he'll widen his legs to be almost in your space, and it forces everyone else to kind of become smaller.
Oh, yes, you're right. Exactly. That's a good, I've never heard manspreading before.
Yes, there's manspreading, mansplaining. A lot of negative connotations against men.
Well, when I think about it too, in regards to kind of ownership of space, sometimes what will happen is people are actually, they'll put their arm out, either talking about,
right.
In the subway or wherever that might be, when you're sitting on the couch, right? And the person puts their arm out over like this, right? And so there's a huge connotation with that, right? That they actually really are taking ownership of all of this space.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that way when it is that there's a person with their arm out over like this?
I tend to stay away from those people, but what I have noticed that makes me like angry is when people have really big hair or really long hair and they'll flick their hair and it'll like end up either in your space or on you or like on your desk or whatever. And you like, no matter how much you back up, somehow they find a way to get close enough in your space again so that they can like shove their hair in your face. And like part of me is like, should I carry a pair of scissors or what's gonna get you to clue in that I don't like this other than me telling you I don't like this?
That's interesting, eh? I mean, people do. They have their features that they're actually really quite proud of. And whether that's to do with muscles, right? Or whether that's to do with hair and how big that hair is, right? Or even when it is someone has their nails done or that sort of thing, and all of a sudden they're talking with their hands, right? And so then that's actually really another way in which they are taking up a lot of space without even knowing that they're doing it.
Yeah. So another point that's really good is like posture expresses how you're feeling internally. What I want to know is if you mentally force yourself to remember to correct your posture, make yourself open, make yourself more affirmed in what you're doing, does that help your internal feelings?
Yes, actually. It transitions how it is that you're feeling about yourself. When it is that you smile, the truth of the matter is that you're cueing your brain and the hormones to actually really have the same effect. Right. Feeling more positive, more encouraged, that sort of thing. So just because it is that you might not feel like you want to smile, right? Life is not that great. If you actually really do it, then the truth is that it actually really changes how it is that you're feeling internally.
Cool. Well, that's a really good point. I think I'm gonna start doing Wonder Woman poses a lot more now.
There you go. Wonder Woman. Yes, exactly. And, I think that the truth about it is, too, that people can tell when it's a fake smile as opposed to an actual real smile.
Oh, for sure. There's a whole bucket load of different kinds of smiles,
That's so true. And so it's really important to know that when it is that you're actually really taking a posture to get into that, to feel that, right? Because whatever it is that you're exuding, people pick up on it. And whether they're picking up on it consciously because they can literally see it or subconsciously, they will actually really start react based upon what it is that they're picking up.
Yeah, just like when you're driving on the highway and you happen to look at someone and then they happen to look at you.
So true.
Sixth sense.
Exactly, yes. So I think that it's really important to be able to pay attention to how much space you want to be taking up.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really important to know, well, where is that comfort zone with the other person that you're in relationship with or having communication with or whatever it is that might be. Are you unknowingly, unwittingly entering into their space And so therefore making that person uncomfortable just because you need to take up a lot of space, perhaps because that's your personality or that's who it is that you view yourself as. The truth of the matter is that everybody has their own personal bubble.
True. Yeah, I think it's really important for people who want to break out of making themselves smaller to pay attention and make yourself, take up more space, but also be firm in that when you do encounter manspreading or arm reaching or however you want to say it, that you don't let yourself shrivel back up and maybe even take the next step as to say, I'm sorry, but you're in my space.
Oh, so true, right? I mean, you can always tell when it is that someone likes to be touched and when it is that someone does not like to be touched, right? Talk about that sixth sense. We give out that vibe.
For sure.
Right? And even to move over.
Yeah.
Right? Move away. Just gives that little bit of information to the other person. And as long as it is that they are self-aware, they will then know to take a step back.
Yeah. And not to be, butt hurt when someone says, move over or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's important to be aware that, if you are a big muscly guy or just like a reachy woman, just be okay in toning it down a little bit.
I've never heard the word butt hurt before. I'm learning new things too. Manspreading and butt hurt. Generational difference. Anyway, yes. And it is really good, right? When it is that you're having a conversation or whatever that might be, if you are Donald Trump, you're walking up to the podium to actually really take the space, right? And it's not that you have to have your legs like this far apart. I think that's part of manspreading too, right? This far apart, I'm taking my space. Yeah. But just shoulder width apart so that you're secure, that if someone were to push you, that the truth is that you wouldn't move so much.
Yeah.
Right? And that's that sense of security. Right? And so it helps you with actually really feeling that sense of security. So yes, just like you started with, shoulders back, right? Just to pay attention to your body in regards to how it is that you are. It's not about being uncomfortable. It's just about presenting yourself as structured.
Yeah.
Expanding into your own sense of secure space.
Yeah, you're worthy of taking up space.
Yes, exactly. And it actually really does. It helps with self-esteem.
For sure. Definitely.
Yes, and makes you feel good about who it is that you are when it is that people respond to you with that sense of security coming back at you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, if you look at a classroom, especially like math class, you can tell the kids who want to answer the question because they're like this, and the kids who don't want to answer the question because they're like this. Don't make eye contact.
That's right, exactly. And that's a really good point too about eye contact, right? When it is that you're looking into somebody else's eyes, it's a very vulnerable thing to do. Yeah. Right? Because as they say, the eyes are the windows of the soul. I mean, you can see who it is a person is based upon their eyes. And the truth of the matter is that sometimes people do need to think, and they think in different ways, so they pull their eyes up in order to process. But the key to it is to actually really re-engage, look into the other person's eyes, right? You might need to think by putting your eyes down, but the truth is to re-engage again, looking into the other person's eyes. Again, it's to do with the fact that you are secure within yourself, and so it is okay, right? You don't have to be shy or afraid, right? That the other person is actually really going to see you.
Yeah, see you and listen to what you have to say. For sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's good. Yeah. Well, my suggestion would be to just start paying attention to your presentation style.
For sure.
Yeah. Are you presenting yourself as secure? To stand in front of a mirror, right? Or to video yourself or whatever it is that might be. Show it to somebody else and say, does this person look secure?
Yeah.
Like they're taking up their rightful space.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Maybe if you admire someone, kind of dissect why you admire them. Is it because of their physical demeanor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Charisma.
Yes, charisma.
Yes. So that my suggestion would be just to start paying attention to that and see if it affects how it is that you're actually really feeling about yourself, about your space, about your sense of security within yourself. And the hope would be that that actually really changes how it is that you're feeling.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much, Laurie. This was such an interesting conversation. We talked about posture and eye contact and all the things that really make a person who they are and how they become secure within themselves.
Exactly. And it might be interesting to show some individuals and how it is that they, well, present themselves and what it is that we come up with when we look at them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Please give this video a like, subscribe, stay subscribed, drop a comment on any topic you would like us to talk about. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.